on how to properly form, mix the right proportions.
Oh yeah.
There's some like figuring out area spacing and then working that into how much to apply to that area of the right percentages.
And there's a lot of things that are across the board, about the label. Every single one of those people, whether it's commercial, non-commercial, or private, have to read the label and understand it. And so...
Yeah, that was a big thing they would say is, even if you don't know, just read the label. It's all going to be there. What protective gear you wear, how much to mix for how much, it's all on the label. And that the test is just to make sure that you know how to do it. And then it's up to you to do it every time. And then there's laws about how to store your chemicals. There's certain chemicals that you cannot purchase without a license because they just are a little bit more complicated.
They work really well.
They were, yeah. restricted use pesticides.
You know what I found? It's kind of funny. Is on labels, is if they just simply printed how many ounces per gallon on the front of the bottle, I don't know if I would ever crack open a label in my life.
That's so
But
true.
because they don't, it's really hidden inside of that information. You really have to flip through. And, some of it doesn't pertain to your situation, but it's good to read through anyway.
Yeah.
And then you get the accurate recipe for what you're needing to do. And you're not over applying and killing plants, or under applying and creating a super pest that becomes resistant to that chemical. So,
and that's a big thing in the greenhouse industry, that a lot of the insects have become immune.
That's right. Over the years and decades of repeated use of the same chemical, they do. The pests evolve and they become immune to that chemical. And sometimes it's like the only thing that you have to use to keep the plant pest free. So, and this is kind of going a little bit off topic, but putting down any kind of chemicals, it's good to have a rotation. So if you know that you're going to put down a lot of chemicals throughout the year, take a look at your options. And this is what we do. We have a list, and it's like, okay, we're going to do Talistar this week, and we're going to do Avid next week, and we're going to fog with Mainspring the week after, and then Altus the week after that. And after about 4 applications or 4 weeks, then you can go back to the old chemical that you started with and just go through that rotation. And just like us, I mean, we don't just simply go spray for no reason. We always have people out there scouting, myself included. We scout for thrips and whitefly and aphids. And, we have those little sticky cards. You've probably seen those, and you just can walk through and you take a look at those, and the bugs are attracted to that. And so you can take a look at it and just count them, identify them, count them, say, hey, have we reached a threshold to where we need to now apply?
Yeah, I think that's the key right there, is that you're not spraying just to spray. Oh, there's one bug, let's just,
right.
H-bomb it, boom, so we gotta figure out what the threshold is. And I think that's the problem. What's happened with agriculture is that the threshold is extremely high. Like us as consumers, or we go to the shopping store and to buy our fruit and vegetables, if it don't look right, we're not going to buy it. We're going to skip that one and go to the next one. So we want our food to look perfect.
Yeah.
Right shape, right size, what we expect it to look like. And I think it's bad.
Yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely. It's we need to be a little bit more accepting of
imperfection.
To know that, yeah, exactly, imperfection.
There was one other thing I want to kind of say about that. We call that the process of planning. It's what is it? Stop. Pest. What is it? The plan strategy. Dang it! I can't even think what it is.
Oh, the IPM strategy.
IPM. Yeah, yes.
Integrated Pest Management.
So there's other ways to deal with pests other than chemical. Chemical is the last resort.
Yep.
So there's trapping to see where it is. It depends on what the pest is. So that's probably the first thing you have to do is actually figure out
what you have.
What you have.
Yep.
And then that way you can deal with it. Like I had mice in my backyard. They were eating my dog's food. I would sit there and I would feed him. I would step back. I let him in the house, and I would see them jump up.
They heard the door close.
Yeah, in total light, jump up, and I would see him like drinking the water, and jump down. And I'm like, okay, if I'm seeing them, we got a problem. So, and he would catch one once in a while, but what I did was so what are my options? I got mice. I could, but I didn't want to use any chemicals or anything because of my dog. I didn't want to use baits because, if he got into them, then what's the point?
Right.
So I had either traps or keeping it, like barrier. So keeping them out of my yard, which is impossible.
So you're using mechanical means to eliminate or to reduce numbers.
The other thing I could have introduced was a biological. So I could have got like a cat, to try to reduce the population. So they're not going to kill all of them, but it's going to at least reduce the population. But I found a really good trap that works really well, that resets and is, I don't know if drowning is humane, but humane-ish. Okay, drowning's not very humane. But, I mean, there's worse ways to go.
Is it like the snails and slugs where they drowned in beer? Because that could be
that's kind of cool.
A different situation.
Yeah, no. It was, I had a 5-gallon bucket, and I saw it on YouTube. It was kind of cool. It's like this, it's called the rolling log trap. So it's like this spindle that will rotate when they come on it, and you put peanut butter, and there's like this little barrier that they can put their feet up on, and as they're trying to eat the peanut butter, it rolls, and then they fall in. There's nothing to grab to, and they just plop into the water. And you didn't have to use water. I could have used I think there was some other stuff some sand, and they would
an empty pit with spikes in the bottom or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to have a bunch of live mice. And anyway, it works really good. Cool. I think I've taken out 25 something mice.
Yeah.
With it. But then my doghouse caught on fire, and I think it kind of got rid of the mice that way anyway. So
yeah.
That's a different story.
Man, that is wild.
But that's just
sounds
another
like a Disney show or something.
Yeah, seriously. So there's other ways to deal with pests other than chemical. And even we can go with this plant, like weeds. You could just manually rip them out. Mm-hmm. Trying to nip them before they bud out. Get them.
So rogue them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other chemical? I mean, then you're getting into chemicals after that.
Well, so yeah, you have mechanical means, cultural
practices. So you go out there and you
clean
it up. You agitate the soil.
Yep.
So it kills all the baby weeds before they come up.
Oh, yeah.
You use mulch.
Yeah.
Mulching is another practice that you can
do to help prevent weeds. Yeah.
2 to 3 inches mulch. I'd go on the little heavier side, 3 inches.
So you have cultural means, you have mechanical means to reduce. There's biological means, and that's using. There's biopesticides, so beneficial nematodes for certain bugs. There are parasitic wasps that will go and parasitize aphids. Too bad there's not one that can parasitize a mouse.
Yeah, seriously. Those are cool. Like, I think that's what is used a lot in the greenhouse industry, right?
Yep.
The parasitic wasps.
Yep. Yeah, and Carcia formosa, Aphidus colemanii. There's a couple of the Latin ones that come to mind that I think I remember. So, so then after biologicals, then you're forced to use chemicals, and within the chemical range, there are soft chemicals, such as like spinosad and Botanigard, and those would almost be in the biological realm, but they're like beneficial bacteria and things like that can help out. But anyway, so there's softer chemicals, and then it builds its way on up to basically restricted chemicals that work really, really well, but are highly toxic. So there you go.
Yeah. And they all come in different formulations, the chemicals, they come in granule, water solubles, aerosols. I mean, there's all these different kind of formulations of these chemicals, and each one has certain rules that you have to follow.
Yep. Do we want to get into the nitty gritty of like the label? Because there's a lot of people they don't realize that it's very, very simple. There's caution, there's a caution sign, warning sign, or a danger sign. I mean, that's really, really easy, right?
Yeah.
There's 3 levels of toxicity. So when you go and buy whatever you're buying, Roundup or whatnot, it will have
yeah, it will.
It will have that label. And I honestly don't know what glyphosate has, if it's a caution or a warning. There's no way that it's a danger.
No, I think it depends on if it's ready to use or not. I think if it is a concentrate of glyphosate, it might carry a warning. Because you're dealing with straight concentrate, and when you're getting a ready-to-use product that has like the little hose and pump and stuff all connected, that you don't even have to touch the chemicals to mix it, then I'm pretty sure that's a caution. Glyphosate is one of the more safest exposure ones.
Totally.
So it would be on there's acute and chronic. So acute is after a long time. Or wait, no, acute. Yeah, I was getting my stuff. That's the one I always miss on the test. No, chronic is the one over long period of time. It just builds up in your body, and that's when you would get sick.
Yeah.
Acute is going to knock you out. Yeah. You immediately feel sick. You feel dizzy. So those are the ones that are on the danger side. So the ones that are chronic, they're the ones that are technically safer, but over a period of time, you can still develop issues because of it.
Well, I think if you're not, so in my position, where really I'm spraying or applying chemicals on a daily basis, and of course I'm as careful as I can be, wearing the personal protective equipment that's needed. You're never safe 100%. You're just trying to lower the risk, and so. It depends. I mean, if I'm doing that every day for years, right, I'm more likely to end up with a chronic problem or situation from chemical exposure. So
right.
Then let's just say that a homeowner that is applying their insecticide for grubs in their lawn, I mean, that's unless that person's breathing those fumes in,
right?
As they open
licking the granules,
right?
Well, that's why then
you got a problem
in elementary school or whatever. They always say, "Oh, we're fertilizing the lawn. Don't eat those little things out there."
Oh yeah.
I mean, they look like little. They kind of look like little candies, like little nerds that they're spreading over the grass. All the yellows and greens and stuff.
Right. Oh, I thought you were talking about the weed that they're trying to kill, like those little Cheez-It weeds. I'm like, dude, the mallow.
Oh, no, not the Cheez-It weeds.
Don't eat the Cheez-Its.
No, I mean like the fertilizer. They would say, don't eat the fertilizer.
Oh, man, yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, be smart.
So, Yeah.
So okay. So just to recap right quick.
Okay, sure.